it would have been used, certainly. So it'd be good to get it. And yeah, as you say, we'll believe it when it actually happens. Neil Black also said that both the Clan and the Panthers are looking at methods which are available so fans who don't travel to away games can still follow games. I remember reading something, and I can't remember where, if it was a tweet from Gareth or whoever, saying they're looking into audio versions, like obviously a radio kind of transmission of a commentary. Do you know, we've been saying that for ages. You know, there's if Neil's not going to do a webcast, it's really pretty easy to put out a audio commentary of a game. Whether if they start charging for that, do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Forget that.
I don't think people would be willing to pay for a running commentary of a Clan v Nottingham game. But it's certainly. I mean, when I was at the football on Saturday, although I didn't really have a horse to follow, and the race down in Nottingham, I listened to the game on my phone, and I was quite happy listening to it. So, you know, it was an option that's available. So I think it'd be a good thing if both teams looked into it. I don't know. I still don't think we're going to be doing webcasts anytime soon. What do you think, Jennifer? No, Stephen?
It depends on who's doing the commentary. We'll just put it at that. I don't want to.
Oh, well,
I think you can read between the lines at what I'm hinting at.
I think you can.
See, the other day, I watched about 5 minutes of the final. That's what I was trying to say. And Ashley Tate, was he the one doing the commentary with Seth Bennett?
Yeah.
He sounded bored. Like he didn't want to be there. And Seth Bennett is not very good himself. And
I think Seth's good at what he does. I don't mind Seth.
I can't listen to hockey like commentary. Anyway.
But if it's the only option you've got, and it's an important game and you can't get to it, surely, you know.
No, well, I don't even listen to Leafs games and work because, see, I don't know if any of you know Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. You've got the guy who's like an excited dog who screams and bawls about like the puck being behind the net, behind the Leafs net, but held by a defender. And then you've got the other guy who sounds like he's just been told his whole family's like trapped in a burning building somewhere. And it's just, I can't listen to it and work because I don't know what's going on. I'm either agitated because the guy's screeching or bored to tears because the guy's like really sad. And it's just, I can't listen to it. And it's because of them. It's not even this league. I just can't listen to it like that. And I try my best the other day, but there's a reason I watch most things with the sound off. Even computer games and things like that, I'll keep the sound off and just put music on or something like that. So I can't do it. So I don't know. It's you know, it's maybe it's for other people, but it's definitely not for me. Unless we get someone who, I don't know, is pretty good at it. I think Jerry was pretty good when he done the commentary the other year. I know he doesn't do it now, but maybe they'd bring him back for that.
Coming back to the webcast for a second, the interesting point from the fan forum was that Neil Black spoke first, and obviously we know what Neil Black's line is on webcasts. So quite clearly there won't be any at Panthers and Clan. And again, one of the issues was the potential hit on people coming through the door. And it was interesting that both Neil Russell and Mike Cowley, who spoke afterwards, completely went in the opposite way and said, well, we've introduced webcasts and it hasn't affected our attendances. Our attendances are still going up. So whilst you can say that they're different beasts overall, it was just interesting that there you see two very, very clear, different schools of thought about how this thing works. And again, you know, I understand the Nottingham Panthers position because I think they are already where we are in danger of going, which is a good night out rather than a successful hockey team. Overall, I'm trying to choose my words carefully, but that's the point. I don't get it. I think if you have enough faith and enough confidence in the game night that you're putting together and putting out to the public, then you shouldn't have to be worrying about what effect webcasts are going to have. But clearly Neil Black does.
I think the possible maybe good thing if the Clan and Panthers introduce a sort of permanent radio coverage is if the fans in that get behind it when they can't make the game and they're able to view the metrics and how many people are listening to it, then maybe it can kind of sort of help Neil Black bridge the gap between him being completely against webcasting and thinking, well, my crowds are still the same. Maybe I can start experimenting with webcasts. And I know one listener won't automatically equal a potential purchaser of a webcast, but if it starts giving them some hard facts and numbers, then maybe there's a chance his attitude will start to soften a bit.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible. I mean, Mike Kelly did say, despite the Blaze having a really poor season, the crowds have still went up, and the webcast is catered for fans of away teams. I mean, it's all right in us to sit here and say, well, I wouldn't substitute going to the game for watching it in the webcast, but yeah, I hope you're right, Raymond. We'll see what happens in the long term. It doesn't help, though, when other teams are trying to decide within an hour of the game whether they're going to do a webcast or not. It kind of, but we'll not go into that one again. The other thing was the thing that you kind of batter on about all the time, Graham, was the employment of a commercial director. Neil Russell saying he hopes it happens sooner or later. I think Neil Black had said that they didn't think they'd found anybody who was of the sufficient quality they were looking for. I mean, does it take that long, a year, to find somebody? I don't know if they're going to do it right, but I mean, surely there's somebody out there who's wanting to take that job of the right calibre.
Not necessarily. Look at the challenges that they're going to have to overcome. I mean,
But dealing with 10 GM or 10.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, looking at it from a commercial point of view, because that's kind of what I do. It's any commercial director of the calibre that the league are looking for, and I think they're offering 60 grand, or they were offering up to 60 grand. You might want to think about that again, but. If you're going to get somebody of sufficient calibre, they're not going to walk into this without having a real close look at what the proposition is that they then have to sell and to justify their existence very quickly. And I tell you what, it's bloody difficult right now with what's there. You've got 10 owners, soon to be 12 presumably, all with their own agendas, or 9 or 10, counting Neil Black as 2 clubs obviously, but everybody's got their own agendas, everybody's got the way that they want to run their own businesses. Is that somebody yawning at the back?
I think it was Stephen. I'm blaming Stephen.
That was me. I was sighing, not yawning. I agree with you.
No. I'll be finished in a minute. But they've all got their own agendas. You've got PR disaster after PR disaster. You've got an elite league that seems to be completely impotent when it comes to supposedly, trying to issue statements to try and quell unrest over various things that have gone wrong internally. I mean, anybody worth their salt at doing that kind of job is going to look at that and go, you know what, there's probably easier ways to make a living. So I'm not surprised that they haven't found anybody right now. The other thing as well, which came up at the fan forum that was discussed, I'm not sure who it was who said it, but again, it was quite telling and of no surprise whatsoever, is that some of the teams are against having a commercial director because they want to spend the money on their own teams rather than have a proportion of that money be spent on a commercial director, which again is pretty much as short-sighted as it gets. And again, if you've got 2, 3, 4, however many owners it is who are saying, I actually don't want a commercial director because I want every penny I can possibly get from my own club, then the whole thing's going to be a non-starter for the beginning, because any commercial director has to have the backing of every team in the league. Otherwise, the whole thing's not going to work properly. So we'll still be here in 12 months' time still talking about a commercial director that hasn't been recruited yet. I'm absolutely sure of it.
I think as well, I mean, you'll not hear me very often lamenting poor Craig and Rob. I think it mirrors the job they've got, Jennifer, where they are trying to put media out, but they've got to wait for approval from 10 different clubs before they can do it.
Yeah, it's just having your own work limited. I mean, obviously we saw the last time when Rob obviously had some stuff to say and stuff to put out, and he's like that, I've got everything kind of here ready to go, but I've not got the okay to go and do it. And although they are media officers, it's more puppets rather than actually being officers, because they can't do anything without getting the say so, and it must just be really limiting into what they're able to do.
Yeah. One of the things that Tom Darnell talked about was the 4-man system. I think, we watched the quarterfinals, you watched the games down in Nottingham, and it's an absolute success. It shows you the quality. Obviously, they did miss the run-on bounds right enough, but it shows you the difference in the quality of the officiating, and it can be done. The problem, I think, as we all know, is just having the sufficient number of referees to actually do it. And any one night, you could have 6 games on the go now. And I don't know if we've got enough officials to actually cover that, Raymond. I think that's the main problem, isn't it? And as well, there's some clubs don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, well, and obviously with the league expanding as well, that's extra game nights that are going to have to be filled, and then but you've got to take account for as well potentially referees getting injured, like Tom Darnell himself is. Wish him a speedy recovery with what he's dealing with there. That's never nice for anyone to go through. But yeah, it all goes down to both provision, money, and training. And does the league have it? Well, we'll find out in time, I guess.
Yeah. Neil Black also touched on the team in London. Says that the Elite League would love to have a team in London, but it's a major project, and they hope to make progress on that front in the coming years. The league must also consider how a 13-team league would work. Well, you'd think as well, if it's going to take that long, he's talking years, there might well be another team on the horizon looking to come in and make it 14, but it's a wee bit away yet. It's not as close as we all thought it was when it was first mooted, I think. Also, there was people casting aspersions on Milton Keynes and Guildford as sustainable clubs, and Mike Cowley had said how they've done all the checks. They're long-term clubs. They've got the finances in place, and I think that's all been sparked by the fact that Manchester and Milton Keynes were kind of put up for sale by respective owners, wasn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, that did cast a lot of doubt onto it, but Neil Russell came out the other day and said Manchester will definitely be in there. I don't think Milton Keynes has said anything publicly yet, so we'll need to just keep an eye on that one. But just going back to the referee point, with the other added teams potentially coming in, obviously we don't know what's the big announcement for Steve Ward or anyone is yet. See the prospect of more Pavel Halis next year, that's enough to make me want to cancel my season ticket. So,
surely you want to help Pavel get better, in your opinion, anyway.
Does that mean giving him like another referee to work with, or just to put him in the stand for a season and watch Tom Darnell or something like that, and just give him a rule book and we'll be happy. But it's poor Pavel. No, really, but it's an interesting one to see how the next few days pan out with all the rumours going about certain teams, and it's good that the Storm have come out and put anything that might have been floating about to bed straight away, but unfortunately other teams didn't feel the need to follow their lead.
The only other major talking point, and I'm going to mute Graham's microphone now because we ain't talking about it right now, and is the conference system itself and how the league's going to be formulated next year. I think reading between the lines, guys, it looks like they had agreed on 2 6-team conferences, and a couple of the clubs are now saying, well, hold on a minute, if it's going to be like that, then we might not be prepared to stay. And I think reading between the lines, a couple of teams, 2-3 maybe, I don't know, are maybe holding the league to ransom a wee bit. I mean, I've got to be honest, I didn't like the 6-team conferences. I prefer the one that I spoke about earlier in the year, obviously not because it was my idea, I don't mean all that, but I prefer the idea of 3 conferences of 4, and I prefer the idea of the Big 4 being in the same conference, and I prefer that as a kind of level playing field. It just depends how they kind of, a sort of leveler playing field, I should say. It just depends how they're going to run about it. They've got, as I said earlier in the programme, in terms of respect, don't just treat Dundee and Edinburgh and Fife and Braehead and Milton Keynes and Guildford and whoever else, Coventry, as if they're there to make the numbers up. They've got to give the fans a prospect of getting somewhere. We can't do it with salary caps, we can't do it with drafts, so if it's the conference system we have to use to level the playing field a wee bit, I'm all for it. And you're all right sitting down in Sheffield, Nottingham, thinking, we're big teams, you've got a chance to win something every year. If you look back at the history of the Elite League in all competitions, I've lost my sheet. I looked at it earlier on. It's like, aside from the slight, if you look at the top 4 today, about 75% of trophies were won by them, and then you had a wee period where Coventry won a few trophies, but if you take that out as well, nobody else has won anything. Do you know what I mean? That's not, to me, that's not how a successful league goes, and I'm not one for, I don't want it to become like the Scottish Premier League, where at a time there was only 2, now there's 1. Even the English Premier League, Leicester was a bit of a freak. You only have got 4 or 5 teams that realistically have a chance. If you look at the North American leagues, these guys know business, they know how to make it work, and they've got all these things in place. We just haven't got that apparatus. So for me, That's the way I would do it. But I know there's people in here with dissenting opinions.